30 seconds. One minute. One 30.
I've always been taught the old saying that it takes a village to raise a child. And for that reason, I agree with the quote that our strength is in our community by Cleopatra Talabele, Two-Spirit Afro-Taino artist. So the reason why I agree with this quote is because let's first talk about what I think it means. For something to be strong, there needs to be a community behind this. And to that, I have two key reasons on why. The first being that societal development happens because of community, and then second, that community lets us push through the hard times. So let's talk about the first point. As we heard, the saying that it takes a village to raise a child. But let's look at exactly how this is shaped up in society. So if we go through the course of human development, we started out as hunter-gatherers, where we had the males who hunted for food, the women and children who gathered things like berries and fruit. Through this communal organization, we were able to become an actual society. And then through continued growth, we went through systems of feudalism, monarchy, and capitalism, all which relied on a communal element. Because, as we know, it does not just take one person for there to be a strong society. And then the second reason why I believe that strength is due to community is because community has allowed us to push through the hard times. Now, the first concrete example I can give is through the Great Depression. As we know, in the late 20s, around 28, the market crashed. And that did not just affect the financiers on Wall Street, but it affected all of America and even had international effects. So when people were unemployed, when people could not put food on their tables, when people needed the most basic elements of human survival and they could not get it, what let them push through? It was community. People were able to line up at soup lines and bread lines to basically meet their basic sustenance. And again, that couldn't be done alone. Through communities rallying together with both the people at the top of the socioeconomic standing and at the bottom coming together to make sure everybody's needs were met, we eventually were able to push through. And second example of how community is so strong is the event that arguably solved the issues from the Great Depression economically, which is World War II. During World War II, the United States had a common cause to rally around, particularly because of us being attacked on our home turf in Pearl Harbor, but also because we believed in the greater mission of the Second War in Europe. Now, how does this demonstrate that strength is caused by the community? While the men were enlisted and shipped off to war, we had the women who traditionally did not work up until the World War II era. They worked hard. They rallied in the factories to support our troops and also to support those still domestic for their needs. So through community, we were able to both put out enough supplies and resources to support our troops abroad, but to also support those sticking around to keep America running at home. So, how does this relate to a village needing to be taken to raise a child? Well, each and every one of us is here because of many people. We have to give credit to our parents, but when we look around, we have educators, we have doctors, we have teachers, lawyers, all these other people who create the strength within us. So for this reason, I agree with Cleopatra Talabela's quote that our strength is in our community.